Welcome back to episode 23 of On the Wild. Today is July 1st. It's Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to everyone out there. I should say, I guess, happy belated Canada Day.
Yeah,
as
I guess.
When you're seeing this, it'll be 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
We are wearing orange to show solidarity to those the Indigenous community that have been affected or negatively affected by, the residential schools and the stuff employed by Canada.
Yeah, all the recent findings that were
Yeah.
found within Canada. Pretty disturbing, but we'll leave a link down below from CTV News. It has a bunch of quotes from different people around Canada, from Indigenous leaders to the Prime Minister, just about like what Canada Day means this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, transitioning from that.
Yeah, heading into this episode, we were kind of just thinking about going over some of the greatest moments in Canadian sports history and just some of our favorite moments, I guess. Obviously, there was the Joe Carter walk-off home run to win the World Series. There was, the Summit Series game winner. But in our lifetime, what are some of your favorite moments?
I mean, the one that pops up to me is the Kawhi shot against Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think just the magnitude of that. I mean, it was a Game 7. It won them the series.
Yeah. First ever buzzer beater in a Game 7.
Yeah. And it sent Toronto to the Eastern Conference Finals, and that obviously led to them winning the finals. I feel like that kind of ups the magnitude of that moment.
It's a moment in itself, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole playoff run was almost a moment for Canada because obviously they had made the Eastern Conference Finals twice before. I think so. Then they played the Cavs and they played in the Sixers back when Allen Iverson, Carter.
That wasn't the Eastern Conference Finals.
That wasn't? Oh, it was the second round?
I think it was the second round.
Oh, okay, yeah. Vince Carter left to graduate and then he came back. We don't know if he would have played a better game or not. We'll never know. But yeah, that whole playoff run was crazy. Kawhi. It would have been nice to see him re-sign, but I mean, he's doing his own thing. The Clippers are eliminated as we're filming this last night.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, 41. But yeah, I mean, I forget, Jackie Robinson too. He broke the color barrier in Canada playing for Montreal before he went to the Brooklyn Dodgers. So that's another huge moment.
Yeah.
For me, the one that stands out to me, obviously, I said the Henderson Summit Series goal, but the Crosby golden goal was huge. I was looking at some of the lists and ranking the moments. It was like number 8. It's like he scored in overtime against the arch rival U.S. in Canada. And he, it's the best player in the world scoring the goal. Like, it's just what better moment could you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, that's as good as you can get.
Yeah.
The Batista,
the bat flip
against Texas.
That team, man. I just keep looking back on it. Batista, Encarnacion, Reyes. They had Ben Revere had a crazy average as a leadoff hitter.
David Price. Yeah. Tulowitzki.
That deadline was insane.
Yeah. That team was a missed opportunity.
Oh, 100%. There was some guy, obviously, like David Price left. It would have been nice to see him re-sign, but I think they definitely fumbled the bag not getting Revere back. I can't remember if they traded him or they just didn't re-sign him, but
I think they just didn't re-sign him. He went to Philly.
Yeah, I don't even think they gave him an offer, like a serious offer, which was so surprising. He was like the perfect leadoff hitter for that team. And he kind of fell off a little bit after. I think he would have had a nice end to his career if he continued to play with the Jays. But yeah, there's so many more moments. I mean, Christine Sinclair, I think she's like the international goal-scoring leader for women, which is insane that a Canadian is doing that.
Yeah.
And then even now, like Canadian basketball, we're seeing its rise. Obviously, the Raptors' success has propelled, Canada and kids wanting to play basketball even more.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at the team, they just beat Greece, who's like the 6th-ranked team. Obviously, they didn't have Giannis, but looking at the players that Canada doesn't have right now, the roster of players that aren't there is better than the roster of players there right now.
Shea.
Yeah, you had Shea, Jamal Murray, Dylan Brooks.
Why is Shea not playing? Is he injured?
I think he is hurt. But I think he's not there for the qualifier, but he'll be there for the actual tournament, I believe. I mean, Boucher's not there, Birch, Kelly Olynyk. Like, that's a hell of a team, and they're already looking pretty good. And I'm hearing these coaches that are, they coached for a while. I can't remember his name, but he was talking about Lou Dort, just like this guy is everywhere on the court, defensively, offensively. He's talking about him being an insane player. I think he'll be a perennial all-defensive player. Same with Brooks, too. Probably. They're both insane perimeter defenders, and interior-wise can do a pretty damn good job. So I'm excited for Canada basketball. Obviously, the States is...
Tristan Thompson, too.
Tristan Thompson, yeah. The States is so dominant, and I mean, people are talking about, it's not as good of a team. It's still the best team there by far.
They have who? Dame,
KD,
Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, Bam.
Yeah, like...
Draymond... I forget
Kevin Love's there.
Kevin Love.
Which is surprising. There's definitely another guy you could have taken over him. But
is Steph's
not there. LeBron's not there either. A lot of speculation about why he's not there. He's been there before.
He's 36 and he's not healthy.
Yeah, and I mean, he could be there when he's 40. Who knows? We
Yeah.
really don't know where he's going to be at in that position. But
he doesn't have to play.
Yeah, he doesn't. He has nothing to prove Olympics wise. I mean, I would think to myself, like, if I was in the NBA, like, if I could play in the Olympics, I'd jump to that opportunity anytime I can. But he's won it 3 times already. He's probably,
I don't know if he's won it 3 times, but I know he's played
3 times. Yeah, well, they won in 2012. Did they win 20?
I think 2008 was a disaster, I think.
Yeah.
Or was that 2004? Because he played in both.
Yeah.
It may have been 2004. I don't remember.
Maybe. Yeah. But I remember, you see that 2012 team, they're talking about it, like, they dominated. Like, Spain was pretty close. And I just think those comments are so funny of, like, people talking about, like, it's really hard for the United States team to play together because they're all big stars. Like, it's much harder for Spain or much harder for the States. It's like, I get that you have a lot of personality and you got a lot of guys that want the ball.
I get where he's coming from, but it's not.
Yeah, because it's like at the end of the day, you're playing basketball. It's a game, and you pass it to the guy that's open.
Yeah.
And if you're the best player.
In the Olympics, players aren't playing for stats.
Exactly. They're playing for their country.
As a team, so.
Yeah. It's really looking interesting for basketball. I think it's going to be super competitive because even Slovenia, they're going to have Luka there, and Greece is going to be good. Spain's always been a pretty damn good team. Obviously, they're going to lose to Gasol soon.
Yeah,
but
I think this is This is their last time playing together.
Really?
They're both playing.
Wow, that'd be cool. Yeah, so it's looking good for international basketball right now. Obviously, that's always been like kind of a rough spot. Not because it's not competitive, but when the States are playing, you're going into the game like, yeah, they're going to win. Whereas, like, in hockey, like, Canada is the favorite, but, Russia, Sweden, Finland, the U.S., they can always take it. Soccer is extremely competitive.
Yeah, like, when the U.S. doesn't win basketball, it's like a surprise.
Yeah.
And it's, like, more like a disaster. Like, what happened?
It's like, how did you guys blow this? It's not, this team came in and played well.
Yeah.
Which, I think it's both sides. Like, I mean, I remember watching Patrick Mills scored, like, an insane amount of points against the American team. And it was just like, this guy's a six man in the NBA, and he's dominating right now. Like, I think for basketball, at least for Americans, it's kind of like check your attitude, check your character at the door, and just like, you're playing for your country now. You're playing for each other. Like, there is no individualism. You just got to get it to the open man, hit the shot, and get your man, check your man on defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to what we saw last night, the Suns eliminate the Clippers in 6 games, sending them packing. First NBA Finals appearance since 1993 against the Bulls. Yeah. Chris Paul's first ever NBA Finals. Yeah. It's great to see.
I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
Because, like, the amount of slander he's been getting for, like, his whole career almost. Yeah. Like, the last 10 years, ever since he got to L.A.
And it was pretty unfair slander, too.
Very unfair.
Like, with Houston, I think he would have made it if he didn't get hurt. In New Orleans, that's just a tough situation.
He's caught a lot of bad breaks. The trade to the Lakers getting vetoed.
Yeah.
So he didn't get to play with Kobe. Going to the Clippers, he did blow a 3-1 lead, but that's not all on him.
Yeah.
Obviously, Doc Rivers has kind of blown a couple more since then.
Yeah, he's kind of been known as an overrated coach at this point. So.
Yeah. But I think he's been treated very unfairly.
Yeah.
Just because he's never won a title, and I just don't understand that, because I don't think winning a championship defines greatness, because there's a bunch of players who've won championships who aren't on the level of Chris Paul.
Absolutely.
In terms of just, like, being a good player.
Yeah, they don't really hold it against Stockton or Nash like they do. Because, they talk about, Nash won 2 MVPs. Like, Paul didn't get one. He came second, and he could have had it behind Kobe. But, I mean, he's had a great career. He's never been a bad player. He's never been inconsistent. He's always been up there. He's just been in tough situations. And they kind of treat him like they treat Harden in a way. Like, Harden has had moments where he hasn't been clutch or he's blown it. Paul hasn't really had too many of those moments.
But the thing with that, though, is that Harden has had really bad games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, from my knowledge, hasn't really had, like, that one game that, like, what were you doing?
Exactly.
Like, how did you not perform better?
Yeah, because with Harden, too, like, it's all, like, the pressure's on him. Paul, the pressure's been on him, but he treats it in a different way. He's a facilitator, so he's trying to get everyone else involved. Harden's just doing it himself, so the pressure's much hard, or not, the pressure's not on him. It's, like, the fault, I would say, is on Harden more. But, I mean, it's going to be great to see. I mean, coming out of the East, I really don't know. The series tied 2-2, game 5's tonight.
Game 5's tonight. Giannis isn't playing tonight.
Trae
Young's
we don't
questionable.
Know yet. Yeah. I think if I'm the Hawks, I don't play Trae.
No,
I think,
you don't risk it.
Yeah, if they lose, then absolutely game 6. If they win, I think you maybe don't even put him in game 6.
Giannis isn't going to play for a week or two.
Yeah, which he's so lucky. Like, when he went down immediately, I'm like, oh, he hyperextended that. Like,
I thought he tore something.
Yeah, it looked bad. His reaction was bad to it. Because usually, like, when he goes down, not necessarily saying he's a flop, but he'll take a second. Like, he went down there, he showed no emotion. Like, he was just, he covered his face and everything. Like, he felt horrible for the guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just been the way the playoffs have gone this far. Like the amount of injuries.
Been very unfortunate, but there's no asterisks. It's just kind of the way it happened this year.
Yeah.
Like there's no, you can't say, oh, the Suns are catching a break.
Yeah,
they are.
They are. I mean, AD, LeBron,
yeah.
Jamal. A lot of guys, but it's been like that every year. You know, KD was out when the Raptors were playing. Kawhi got hurt against the Warriors. You know, Chris Paul went down against the Warriors. Like
Kyrie got hurt. Yeah. Kevin Love was hurt in the Warriors' first title.
Yeah. Like as far back as we can remember, there's always been, you know, someone hurt and you can blame it on that. But that's just the way sports goes. Guys get hurt. So
even if you look to last year in the bubble, Bam got hurt game 1.
Exactly.
And Goran Dragic
was out for a while too. So
it happens every year.
Yeah, there's always been issues.
It doesn't mean that there's an asterisk to it.
Yeah.
NBA Twitter's toxic.
Oh, extremely
They'll put an asterisk on anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole Raptors championship they were talking about. And then last year with the bubble, it's like every team was going through the same thing. The Lakers won it all. Yeah. There's no asterisk there. They won it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, they won because it was the bubble. Everybody was in the bubble.
Exactly.
They just not treated it, but they responded to the bubble the best out of the teams that were there.
Exactly.
So they deserve to win.
That's no fault of their own that they played the best.
It's not their fault that a pandemic started.
It's a bit weird, but I'm super excited to see him play in the finals. I mean, Booker, I wouldn't say he had a great series. Like, he had an incredible game 1. But shooting wise, his percentages were down, but he was always hitting the big free throws and he was hitting big shots. He had a great series.
I think part of that is they put a lot more attention on him, and also the mask. Like he
almost re-broke it yesterday with Paul George.
Yeah, but he didn't try to make an excuse about it. But he said, like, this is the first time I've ever played with a mask on.
Yeah,
so
it's a tough situation.
I assume it's hard to get used to at first.
Yeah,
like anything.
Yeah, and then with Ayton too, like I'm just looking at his stats. He was 5 for 6 coming out of that first quarter with 10 points. He finished the game shooting 8 for 10. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or if it's just he doesn't get the ball as much, but he's shooting way less than he should be. If you're 8 for 10, you keep shooting the ball. I mean, no one's going to stop you.
He's a third option.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like the looks that they were getting.
Yeah.
Because the Clippers, at least in the last couple of games, were playing a lot of zone. So, you know, they were getting it to Booker in the middle and whatever. But
I do think, though, because like Zubac being out and Cousins not being as mobile as he used to, they could have utilized him a lot more.
That's what I thought. I thought they were going to, especially in game 5, I thought they were going to feed him inside.
Yeah.
Because they had Morris on him. But they were playing the zone, so it was a bit tougher. But yeah, I thought, I mean, he was a great player in the series, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He played great defense.
Yeah.
I don't think it is a confidence thing. I think it's just him not getting the ball as much.
He is really good at not fouling.
Yeah. He's very smart.
Straight up. And even on offensive rebounds, he does a really good job of not going over the player, but just going straight up to get it.
He's very tactical.
And getting it at its peak. He's very, very smart.
Yeah. And then on the other end of things with the Clippers, I mean, Morris had great games 5 and 6. You know, some of the best games I've ever seen him play. PG in game 5, I mean, he had the best playoff game of his career. But game 6, he wasn't taking good shots, good quality shots. A lot of the time he was driving to the basket when the paint was clogged. He was trying to get a foul and he wouldn't. Or he'd take a step back 3 when a guy's hand is in his face. He wasn't taking good quality shots. And it's almost as if he didn't. I don't want to say like he didn't want to win, but he wasn't playing as if he wanted to. Mm-hmm. He in that game, like game 5, he understood his role. Like, I need to be the guy to take over this game. In game 6, he didn't do that.
He's getting a lot of praise for this playoff run, which, I mean, he played better than he did last year, but I still think he's very overrated.
Yeah. And they're talking about, like,
I don't think he's not a number 1.
No.
Because if it was LeBron, KD, Kawhi, if they dropped 41 in game 5, they weren't going to drop 16 in game 6.
Exactly. And it wasn't as much, it was a surprise when PG was like, oh, this is the best playoff game of his career.
That's what number 1 players do. They have a great game, but they don't just fall apart the next game. They have another great game.
For sure.
Because they know what's at stake.
Yeah. It was just weird to see. And then, I mean, a lot of guys were able to step up, and it was nice to see. But just that Clippers team, man, it's like, they're hard to like. We were talking about it
very much.
Yeah, like Beverly, he's going on. Like, I like the way Booker's attitude is towards him, is just not giving him any sort of reaction. Yeah. He's just kind of like, say what you want to say, man. We're beating you by 20. Like, yeah. And then, I mean, Cousins too, like elbowing Paul. Obviously, he missed, and Paul did flop a bit. Yeah. I think that's why it wasn't a flagrant.
He
flopped. But I think that's why they didn't call it a flagrant, because he missed and he did go down. But
that is a technical, though. He threw an elbow.
Yeah, he tried, and if he did make contact, who knows? Like, the guy's 7 foot. Chris Paul's a smaller guy, at least to NBA standards, and that could have knocked him out. Yeah. Like, who knows what could have happened there? So that's a dangerous play. And the fact that his reaction to getting a technical, he's like, yeah, it's like, don't throw an elbow.
Yeah.
It's just, I didn't like that. And, yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of it. Just, like, kind of cheap plays.
It's not hard. Just don't get in your feelings.
Yeah. And even that Beverly play where he went to block Aiden, that was a bit aggressive. Obviously, he blocked him, but then came down
and
on
obviously the shove.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, maybe Chris Paul says. Chris Paul didn't say anything. He just kind of looked over at him.
Yeah.
And it made him snap. Like, how are you going to talk for 5.5 games and then a person looks at you like that and you shove him in the back?
Yeah.
While his back's turned.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's not, he needs to, like, to an extent, I like the way Beverly plays and getting an edge and trying to get people mad. But when you're not getting anything from them, you need to take it back a notch and just focus on the team. And,
like, if you're going to give it, you have to be able to receive it too.
100%.
You can't just
go at people.
It's not a one-way thing.
100%.
People are going to go back at you.
Yeah. And the way he complains about his fouls, too, it's like, first of all, you made contact with the guy, and you did it egregiously. Mm-hmm. So you're lucky you didn't get a technical on a lot of plays. Yeah. Like, he would be reaching fouls. He's swinging at the guy.
Yeah.
So
he catches a lot of breaks because people are like, oh, that's just Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
No, he's just...
Like, I remember they were talking about his whole journey and how inspiring it was. But you look back at the start of the journey, it was like he cheated on something, or that's why he didn't get drafted.
Yeah, I don't know his whole story.
He like cheated on a test or something. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. He's just. I'm happy to see the Suns go to the final, to say the least. Because one thing, as a Raptors fan, you want to see Kawhi do well, but it's hard to want him to win because just the fact that he is gone. Yeah. But yeah, to not see him play, it really did suck. You want to see the best possible players you can get.
But where would you rank Chris Paul in terms of all time?
All time with point guards? That's so tough because when I look at my top 3 is pretty locked up. I'd say Magic 1, Curry 2, Oscar 3, and that can change. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of Curry's career. He could maybe overtake it. But 4, 5, like if I'm looking at a top 5 perspective, I guess, like I'd say Isaiah Thomas is 4. Mm-hmm. 5 is where I'm like, I could say Chris Paul. And I think with a championship, that can boost him even higher. But I think he is a better overall player than, say, a Steve Nash or a John Stockton.
Yeah.
Like if you are going in, they're all in their prime, right? Or they're just starting their career. Who do you want to be the leader of your team, Paul, Stockton, or Nash? I'm taking Paul.
Yeah.
Because the longevity he's been able to play with, and he's always been consistent. He hasn't had off years.
And just the impact he makes on a team. You look at Oklahoma City last year.
Yeah.
How he uplifted them. The Suns this year, obviously, going to the finals.
He's always been a most valuable player. He's just not been statistically able to win the award, but he's always been in the conversation because he's been able to uplift his team.
He is the definition of being the most valuable player.
100%. Like, yeah, like I would have to put him in that top 5 because he's just done so much for every team that he's been on, and I think he could have won a couple MVPs, and like we've said earlier today, like he's been screwed over a little bit over his career. So yeah, I'd put him top 5. I think winning a championship kind of solidifies it.
If he wins a title, I could make an argument for him being the third top 3
over Oscar or Curry. Okay,
I'd put Curry in there just because of how he's changed the game. He's the greatest shooter ever. He's won 3 titles, 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous, first ever unanimous MVP.
Yeah, I mean, and he could have won this year if he made the playoffs. We really don't know. I think it would have gone to Jokic either way, but
I think he was the most valuable player. But
the
NBA's criteria changes every year. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't argue if you said Nash is there or Stockton's there or someone else, or maybe even Jason Kidd. You could make an argument.
I feel like we're missing somebody. I don't know who though.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking Allen Iverson, but I think he's a shooting guard. He's always been a shooting guard.
Jerry West too.
Right.
I think that's the person we were.
Yeah, the logo.
Yeah, literally the logo of the league.
Yeah,
forgot about him.
He's up there. Did he? I know he never won a championship. He was like 0-8, I think. But
I think he won a title.
He did?
Or he made. I don't know if it was him or Elgin Baylor.
I think it was Elgin Baylor because I remember
who retired the season that they won it. I think it was Elgin Baylor.
I think it was, yeah. Because didn't Jerry West win like a Finals MVP even though they didn't win?
Yeah.
Like he's the only person that's ever done that, I think.
Yeah.
Which is just shows how great he was.
Yeah. I think he won 1 title, but I'm pretty sure he was like 1-7.
Yeah. Yeah. His record was tough. I mean, he played with Wilt, but it was Wilt near the end of his career too.
Yeah, it was him, Wilton, Elgin Baylor.
And I think Baylor got hurt one year too.
I think Elgin Baylor retired the year that they won, like halfway through.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking Worthy with Magic.
Yeah, Worthy, Magic, and MJ.
Yeah. But yeah, MJ. Wait, Kareem?
Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, James Worthy.
I was so confused. I'm like, wait.
Kareem, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott, AC Green. That team was stacked.
Yeah. The Lakers have always just been, every decade, they find a way to make an insane team.
The last 3 decades, 2000, 2010, 2020.
Yeah.
They've started the decade off with a title.
Yeah.
So
they've always had incredible.
Bet on the 2030 finals right now.
Yeah, literally. That's facts. But yeah, in other news too, NCAA, they just announced that players will be able to profit off of their likeness, their name, and their
image.
Their image, yeah.
About time.
About damn time. Like, we've been saying it for years. Like, they deserve to be paid because it's just these colleges profiting off of them. Obviously, a lot of these guys have scholarships, but
that has nothing to do with
their
image.
When you build Duke versus North Carolina, it was Zion's playing North Carolina. Why isn't Zion getting some money for the draw he brought in?
They're not giving people scholarships for, like, the money that they give them. They're giving them scholarships so they come play for them.
Exactly.
So they should be able to profit off of themselves.
Yeah.
They don't own Zion's name. They don't own Zion's likeness. They don't own Zion's image.
Yeah, and the idea that if you have your own, money coming in that you can't play. Like, there was a kicker that, what was his name?
His name's Destroying. That's his YouTube name.
Yeah.
I actually don't know his actual name.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But I just know he's a YouTuber. He has like a couple million subscribers.
Yeah,
but he had to quit football because he started doing YouTube.
Yeah, he was going to UCF, right?
Yeah, he's a kicker.
Yeah, he probably would have made the NFL. Definitely
would have had a chance.
Yeah, and he couldn't play because he had his own revenue stream coming from YouTube, which I just find ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Obviously, like, Lonzo had a loophole with his because his dad owned the company, and you can't really play.
He couldn't wear
him anyways.
Big Baller Brand anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's about time because I feel bad for like athletes who came before.
Oh yeah, like the Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel would have made so much money.
Yeah. Even like Baker, like just
so much money.
The names and the big characters would have made a ton.
Reggie Bush, give him his Heisman back.
Yeah.
Literally give him his Heisman. They took his Heisman away because he was like making money. I forget why. Or wasn't it like, I think it was his family was receiving funding from the school to like live by.
Which has always happened. It's always been a thing.
I mean,
like,
it is what it is.
Zion definitely got some money playing at Duke.
Definitely.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to see, and I'm super excited because that means that there should be NCAA games. So not Madden, but NCAA football will come back. NCAA basketball.
I think they already announced.
They did?
NCAA football is coming back.
Oh, that's dope.
I think next year.
I really hope they do a basketball one. Just being able to play when March Madness is going on, being able to do the bracket in the game, people would
with your friends going online picking a team.
Yeah, people go crazy for that. It'd be so much fun. And like now, obviously, you can sell jerseys with the names on the back rather than like getting fake ones.
I don't know if they can do that.
Really?
I don't know.
But it's their name, right? Like, can't they?
But that's part of the school. So basically, how they're gonna make money now is they'll have to use themselves, but not the team.
Right.
Like you see all the time in commercials, you'll see athletes. Like remember when Jose Batista did Booster Juice?
Yeah,
and he would just be like in a blue jersey, not the Blue Jays.
Yeah, same with Trout. You would do Subway.
Yeah, it'd be that.
Yeah,
you can't use the team branding, but it's your you are the brand.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But yeah, I mean it's good to see, and that these guys deserve it, and even like the lower end players who may not get like sponsorship deals, they'll still get some money from somehow. Yeah, so. That's good to see. Like, it's taken way too long. The schools get so much money regardless from ticket prices and stuff like that. Like, it's time to give back to the guys that are really earning the money.
Mm-hmm. So talking about games though, so I don't think they're going to be able to use rosters still, but that's not a big deal now.
Yeah, people can just create them.
Yeah. People create rosters, so that's not really a big deal. But I wanted to ask, what's your favorite sports game ever?
Ooh. That's tough.
Video game.
Yeah. Like, growing up, I was only able to play sports video games. Wasn't allowed to play Call of Duty or anything like that. So, I
didn't really have restrictions. I just played sports games. I never really got into Call of Duty.
Yeah, I was never really that interested. Maybe because I wasn't allowed. But, I mean, I always had Madden, Chell, the show, and 2K. I'd probably... Like, Madden never had, like, a standout game. They were always just kind of consistent.
I think for Madden-wise, a lot of, like, the hardcore players who've been playing for a long time... say Madden 04 is probably the best. That's me personally. I'd probably say like Madden maybe 15. I enjoyed 15.
Yeah, 15 was good. 17 was good as well.
I like 17. A lot of people didn't like 17.
I don't remember what the game was called, but it was a Wii game, football, and it had Brett Favre on the cover. I think it was
Madden
09.
09.
Yeah, that game is incredible. Love that. But best game, I'd maybe say 2K16 NBA.
2K16 was good.
Just because
good.
the rosters were great, the gameplay was really good. There wasn't a lot of problems.
And everybody was on it too. 'Cause remember they made it free during the finals?
Yeah.
So everybody was playing.
Everyone was playing. And I look at Chell, like it's been the same game for the last 8 years. I really hope that like because PlayStation 5 has come out that they're going to make a completely new game, which they need to because nothing's changed.
NBA 2K11 was amazing too.
2K11 was so good.
There was so much in it because that was the first year Michael Jordan had been in a 2K game.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
Or at least since he played for the Wizards.
Yeah.
So they created this whole mode called MJ Creating a Legend. Basically, you go through 10 of his greatest moments.
Oh, that's cool.
And once you do that, you unlock a Michael Jordan career mode. So you could play as a rookie Michael Jordan, put him on any team in the NBA,
that's sick.
and play my career.
They got to do stuff like that for other games. Because whoever's on the cover or like the Legend Edition, play through their greatest moments.
Yeah.
Like that'd be so cool.
Some
like
sort of
Kobe. Like they could have done that this year and gone through.
Just like his greatest moments.
Yeah, like
you play it.
Imagine like farewell game. You got to score 61 points. You don't get it. You got to retry.
Yeah.
Like that'd be a lot of fun, especially for younger kids because they would learn more about the guys coming out of the league. Because that's how like when I was playing these games, I played the legendary rosters. I'm like, I understood who was with who.
That MJ Creating a Legend was my first ever exposure to Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
I never really. It was always LeBron.
Yeah, I think that was actually my first ever 2K game I had.
Really?
That game was so much fun.
I had 2K9, but I barely played it.
Yeah. And then I think The Show. I think MLB The Show has been the most consistently
good game.
Like it's never because all these other games have gameplay problems where they're like, we're gonna focus on the graphics. The Show is like the graphics are what they are.
Yeah.
We're gonna make the gameplay. They change it a little bit. Now, like I tried playing it like online competitive. It's hard because they add like the PCI thing where you move like you can't just. If you're playing online, you need that. Or like if you're pitching, you need like the meter thing so you can actually pitch where you want.
Right.
Because I'll throw a fastball low and away, it goes right down the middle if you don't have the meter. But I like it because they make it more realistic and like there isn't these crazy bugs that cause you to lose.
I think with the MLB games though is that there's not like a lot of things that you can do to exploit the game.
Yeah.
Like a lot of time in Madden or there would be like as somebody who plays Madden a lot, there's like cover 3 beaters to where like your defensive back literally wouldn't react to a play because of just the way the game is programmed.
Yeah.
Same thing with 2K, like you just
we would play 3v3 Pro-Am or 5v5 and it's like if you're the point guard, you're getting picked all game by the center and they're just splashing threes.
Oh yeah.
It takes no skill.
Yeah, no. Well, for the MLB though, it's like there's not really that. You have to actually be good at the game.
Yeah.
You have to be able to time pitches, you have to all that.
Yeah, like if that's what I've always thought about games. Like if you are not that good, if you're going to play offline, you should be able to engineer the game that you can play well. But online, it needs to be like competitive, like the best players win. Like those shooter games like Call of Duty, if you're not good, you're going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
I can tell you that firsthand.
I'm brutal. I'm so bad. I would play at friends' houses and it'd be embarrassing.
I've never owned a Call of Duty game.
Yeah, neither have I.
Or GTA.
I played Warzone a couple times and oh my god. I thought I was like, it's going to be kind of like Fortnite. No, not at all. I'm sitting there and wide open. Why can't I build? Like it was brutal.
Why can't I build?
Bro, I'm not going to lie. I kind of miss Fortnite. Like the OG Fortnite.
For sure. I mean, that was maybe some of the funnest times I've ever had playing video games.
Just people raging, people getting excited because they're close to win. Like, I remember I had to have played like over 200 games before I even won. And I remember I was like, final 2, my hands would be shaking, like you're sweating. And then when you get that win, it's like you just won a championship.
I just miss like playing squads with like you and a couple other friends. Like when we had no idea what we were doing.
Yeah.
We were hiding and stuff.
I always noticed that because like the journey I feel like has always been the best part. Because once you get good, it's not as much fun because it's just like you're going to dominate.
Yeah.
When you're on the rise, it's like it gets frustrating, but it's also just so much more fun because when you win, it's a shock.
For me, the funnest time for like a new game is the beginning just because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Which makes it just more fun.
Yeah.
And it's just more fun. Or I just said that twice. It's funny and it's fun.
Yeah. Man, I miss it. But yeah, that company, man. I don't know what they're trying to do. They keep doing new stuff that just people
Epic
Epic,
games?
yeah. They just like if you literally brought back the old map and the old graphics, so many people would come back to the game.
Probably.
And you'd earn more money. It's almost like they're just being stubborn, like, we want to like make it different, but people aren't playing.
Yeah.
Like they literally have bots.
I haven't played Fortnite in
it's been a while.
a year.
At least a year.
Maybe a year.
Yeah, I remember maybe like at the beginning of COVID, we maybe played it a bit because there was absolutely nothing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, and even then we were like, I can't. Like we used to be able to play from like 8 p.m. to like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
On like a weeknight, and then now it's like, all right, it's been an hour.
And even when somebody was like, "Yeah, I'm getting off," it'd be like, "It's only 4 a.m."
Yeah. Time didn't matter back then. Yeah.
I miss it.
Yeah.
You guys can probably tell we miss it.
We miss it.
I think that's a good place.
Good place to end off.
To wrap up before we start crying.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below, and we'll see y'all next week. Take it easy.
Stay well.
Peace.